Hey guys, how's it going? It's Mike here with Mike's Board Games, and I'll just be doing a quick overview on how to play Loot. It's a fun game, it's light to learn, and I find it's actually in-depth and good to play. So, how do we play Loot? The main thing we're going to do on our turn is place a Viking. Where can we place a Viking? Any place that is adjacent to one of these long ships to start the game. Okay, and we can also play it anywhere adjacent to another Viking. Now, these building tiles, you cannot play on them. It is only these lighter resource tiles. So what are the resources here? There are the trees, there are the axes, which are won from fighting these groups of people or orcs, whatever they are, and there are sheep, okay? And so that's the three main ones, and then there's gold. Gold is a little different, it's a little more scarce, but that's the main four different types of tiles to play. So by default, how it works, when you place a Viking, you will collect this resource where you are played. So if I place my Viking here on this tree, I will collect the tree. Now, what do I do with this tree? I'm going to come down to my fjord board here, which is like my personal board, and I'm going to place the tree. When you place a tree, or any resource, it cannot be moved after. So there needs to be some forward thinking and just some little bit of planning. I can place on any of these open spaces. Now, the main thing we're looking at here is adjacency. There's three buildings here which can be built in your fjord board. Each player has the same buildings, but the resources that they require may be different. The reason why is these are supposed to be tiles, and each player would get a random tile to start the game, but we're playing the online version, so this is just the setup phase is skipped over. So as you can see, my altar, what does it require? It requires to be adjacent to a watchtower and two houses and an axe. If that is completed and those resources are placed adjacent, you will get 7 victory points. Okay, castle. Here we have 2 watchtowers, a castle, a sheep, and a house. Those must be adjacent. Okay, you will get 9 victory points. And here we have the port, 2 houses, and a tree. Now we already have 1 house here and 1 tree. If we are able to place 1 more house in one of these 2 spaces, we will get 5 victory points. And that will be shown by automatically being flipped over. Let's say I want to place my tree here. Next, you'll see I received the house as well. How did I receive this house? That's because I placed my Viking adjacent to this house. The way to collect houses is any player will place their Viking adjacent to a house. Now, the number here shown is the supply of houses that are left on that tile. If that supply runs out, as you can see here it has already, there will be no more houses available there. So there is a limited supply, and you can see on the board. So now let's see an example here. I place my house here, and look at that. It's completed. I have received 5 victory points, which is shown here. Now it's coming to the end of my turn as I place my Viking. It's now asking if I would like to select a ship here, a long ship to take. Here's where I'll go over what these long ships are. So what's shown on the long ships is the same as what was shown on the buildings. At the top is the requirement, 2 axes and a tree for this one. And those can be placed anywhere adjacent to it. So let's say I take this and I put it here. It has the same placement rules. It cannot be moved after. If it's adjacent to a tree and 2 axes, it will be completed. Note that if the pieces are connected, that does not count as adjacent, so this house would not count toward this longship. Next, at the bottom of each longship, you will see the reward. Now, the way this reward is given, it is actually a point booster. That's how you can think of it. It is a point booster for that specific resource. So it says here, your trees will be worth 1 more point each. Okay, this gold, your gold will be worth 3 more points each. And you may be wondering, why is this one with a black border and this one is with a lighter border? Well, how this is the black border is a more rare type, and this indicates actually a higher reward. Now, it may also be harder to build. So here we have your gold will be worth 2 more points each, whereas this one was 3 more points each. So this may be more sought after. This indicates your watchtowers will be worth more each, and this one is your houses. There's an equal amount for each resource, and here we have houses, here we have watchtowers, here we have castle, here we have trees, here we have sheep, and here we have the gold. You may be wondering, what about the axes? How do I make those more valuable? Well, how that works is when you place an axe on the board, let's go to the next turn and I'll show you. Okay, when you place an axe on the board, you are going to increase your axe counter here. Let's say I take this spot here as player 2, I collect the axe, and I'm going to place it somewhere on the board. It would be nice to put it adjacent to the port, as that is one of the required resources. Let's put it here. Now I also got 2 watchtowers. We'll talk about that in a minute. So I placed my axe, and now my score for axes is 2. Okay, as we can see here, there is a, same as the other tiles, there is an axe tile. These are called trophies. And these you may collect 1 sometime during the game. Now, it does not need to be the exact one that you have. So, for example, I may claim up to level 2 or up to level 3 if I had 1 more axe on my board. And the timing of this claiming is important, as only 1 player can claim each trophy. So if you both have, let's say, level 5 axes, you may want to try and claim it quicker, as your opponent would either have to claim the level 4 or would have to try to find another axe and get up to level 6. Now these are worth more points the higher you go. As you can see, level 2 is worth 3 points, level 3 is worth 6 points, level 4 is worth 10 points, 5 is 15, and 6 is 21. So the higher you go, the more points you will receive. Okay, so I placed my Viking here. Why did I receive 2 watchtowers? Well, here's where we will talk about how watchtowers work. You receive watchtowers not simply by placing a Viking adjacent to them, but by actually connecting 2 pairs of watchtowers, or a pair of watchtowers. As you can see, directly with only my Vikings, I have connected these 2 watchtowers to make a set. Now, if I placed another Viking here and another Viking here, that would not create another set. A different player, although, let's say the yellow player, may complete that set, as they have not done it yet. And for that, they will get 1 of each watchtower, just as I did here. Now, I may play the watchtower as any other resource, let's say I want to complete this. And so I would get 7 points for completing this. And look at that. There it is. Those points are added to my point counter. And now, let's say I would like some more watchtowers. How would I go on about to get some more? Not only if I were to place one Viking here and one Viking here, would I get one of each, but also I can connect some that I've already taken from. They just must be a different pair. So this Viking, let's call the top left. This watchtower, let's call it top left. And this watchtower, we'll call the top right. If I combine these two with my own Vikings only, then they will create another pair. And I'll get one from each that I connected. Now note that if there is none left on this supply, I may still use this watchtower location to connect with another one to get one from each available tile. So if this had 0 on the supply and I connected them, then I would get 1 from here and 0 from here. Alright? That's how you get the watchtowers. Next, I'll talk how to get the castles. Okay, how to get the castles. I will complete a few turns here quickly just to, well, I'll skip through actually. Skip. Okay, so we've skipped ahead a few turns here just to show how the castle works. Now, it is the yellow player's turn, and here we have 4 Vikings that are connected, let's say. Now, you can tell they're connected because there's no other Viking that's between them. So these 2 across here would not be connected, but these 4 are, and this pair is on their own. Now, how the castle works is for each player that has 4 or more Vikings connected to the castle, you will receive 1 castle. So what do I mean by that? These Vikings do not have to be surrounding the castle, 4 of them, but just simply connected. And only 1 needs to be adjacent, or at least 1. So let's say I place my Viking here. Note that this will also connect a new trail or new pair with these watchtowers. So let's do that. And this is going to be a big move. I'm going to connect these watchtowers, get 1 of each, as well as get 1 castle. Now, maybe you didn't see that I'll also be connecting this watchtower to both of these. That will create a new pair from this one, bottom right, to bottom left. Let's go ahead. So first we will get our axe, and let's place that here per se. And wow, look at that. 3 watchtowers and a castle. That's because I made a new pair here from top right to bottom right, and I made a new pair along this line from bottom left to top right. Even though there was none left on this tile, I can still get 1 from here. Alright, let's place our watchtowers. Oh, a little mistake there. Next, we're going to place our castle. Now, castle is an important piece as it is where you build your Jarl Palace. It is a piece that's always required for the Jarl Palace. Let's say we place it here. Now, all we need left is a sheep, and this will be completed, and we will get our 9 points. We can place these watchtowers somewhere on the side, as we won't be needing them, as they will actually only be used just to generate some points. And these can be boosted with different longships. So let's say I just placed all these towers, and I would like to boost up the points. So let's take this longship here. This double sheep and 1 gold. This will boost my longships. This will boost my watchtowers by 2 points each. So each watchtower at the end of the game will be worth 4 points if I complete this, instead of the 2. So let's place this. I know I want to place a sheep somewhere here. So why don't we place it somewhere like this? Now, if I end up placing my sheep here, they will both get fulfilled from that. These resources may be used on multiple areas that require it. So this is part of the efficiency of the game to succeed. So it's also offering me to collect the trophy. I'm not going to do this right now, as I think I would collect more axes throughout the game, and I'll save this for later when I would like to take the trophy, as I may only take one. So that's castles, and that's the watchtowers. Lastly, we're going to discuss the shields here. Now, what are these shields? These are one ability each, which may be used once during the game. So I'll explain each. First, we have the double placement. What this is going to allow me to do is place another Viking before even ending my turn. So I can't use it right now because I took a longship, and the longship indicates the end of your turn. But let's say the next player places a Viking here, making a new pair, which will collect this watchtower. So they place a tree, and they get the last tower. Okay, let's place it anywhere. Next, let's say I like this move, but I also want to play another Viking, as I want to connect my long string of Vikings to this castle to collect the castle. So I can click here, and once per game I'll use it, and this will allow me to place another Viking. So I'm not done my turn yet, but I'm placing a second Viking. I'm going to collect the resource just as normal, one sheep. Let's go ahead and place that somewhere. And now, that's the first shield. What's the next one? What this allows you to do, let's get our worker, let's get our Viking back. What this allows you to do is place your Viking alongside any other Viking. Now, this does not have to be your own, this does not have to be your opponent's, it can be either. So let's say my opponent is blocking my initial Viking from reaching my kind of crew here, and I want him to be a part of the crew, or for whatever reason I just want to connect them. So I'm going to place my Viking there. As you can see, it used that shield and also used this shield because it's my second Viking of the turn. So these can be combined as well. So I'm going to get the tree as per normal, and these are now all connected real nice. This is useful for connecting your groups to the castle, or your opponent blocked a chokehold, something like this. So that's nice there. But now let's say I even want to use this one as well. What this last shield is going to do is actually double the base resource that is shown on the board. So for my next Viking only. This won't apply if you're doing two Vikings, it will only apply to the next Viking only. So let's say I place it here on the sheep, as I really want two sheep before the game ends. So let's get those two sheep. Look at that, two sheep from only one Viking. Now, I place my two sheep, however I want to place them, but I only get one house. So note that this double bonus only applies to the base resource and not to buildings. Okay, and I can place this building somewhere. Okay. Next, how do you get more castles? Okay, to get a second castle, you must have a group of 8. So it's every 4 that are touching a castle, connected, you will receive 1 castle. And I will show that with a nice example here on the yellow players team. Okay, here on the yellow players team, these troops are not connected to my squad here. And if I do connect them, I'll get 2 more troops, making it 7 total. But how can I connect them? This area is all blocked. Well, I can use my shield. This will allow me to place my Viking here or here and connect them. They are now all connected. This will mean I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Vikings connected to the castle. Now let's say I place this axe. Look at that. I've now gotten a second castle. So how did I get a second castle? Because it's every 4 Vikings connected that apply. Let's place, and you may ask, why do I want a second castle? There's no other requirement for it. Well, these castles are worth quite a bit of points. And not only will I be denying them from my opponents, but these may be boosted with more longships. So I may even be wanting to get more and more castles. So since we have 13 Vikings in total, by the end of the game, will also be able to get a third castle if it's available by having 12 connected Vikings. So there is a bonus to having your Vikings together. Now, not every game you will have them together because depending on how the game plays or things like that. But that's what makes these shields so useful, to be able to strategically use them at proper times. Okay. So one thing I didn't note, guys, is that any uncompleted longships are actually worth -5 points. Now this is a pretty big deal. Let's say I have taken this and I place it on my board. You can see the yellow player right now has 23 points. This is the current points. Let's say I place a longship somewhere adjacent to this axe, let's say. And now you see I've gone down to 18. This is just a temporary showing the current points. Since these 3 are actually not completed technically, I'm getting -15 points at the end of the game if I don't complete them. So always try to complete your longships, as this is an important part of the game. These buildings do not give you minus points if you don't complete them. They are only a bonus, so it may be more beneficial to try and actually complete these if you can. And just because at the end of every turn you are offered to take a longship, you are not required. So nearing the end of the game, you may not even take any at all, and you may just try to complete your board nice and organized. Okay guys, that's pretty much it for this video. If anyone has any questions, just leave a comment. I'll try to answer them all. And I hope to play with some of you guys soon, and see you guys on there. Let's just do a few of these longships maybe, just to show what they look like when they're completed. So we're playing this red player. We just need 2 gold. Or this one, we just need 1 gold. So let's just take a gold here. Okay. Let's place it here. Look at that. Alright. So as you can see, it's showing 1 point per sheep. That's what it looks like. And you want to have them like that at the end of the match. As you can see, I have 4 Vikings left. And my opponent has 5 since they played second. And when these are all finished, then the game will end. Don't forget to take your trophies. Let's take it now as an example. And look at that. 6 points. I've taken the 3rd one. So my opponent must now take either number 2 or make his way up to number 4, 5, 6, etc. Thanks for watching, guys. Leave a like if you liked the video. See you later.